ramen. You just literally got done saying
you don't
like
like
ramen.
I mean, like, I don't know why. Just like regular, in the little pouch thing.
Wait. Like the top
That's
ramen.
not really.
Not really.
Welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up. We're live here in Manhattan Beach at the Comic Bug. We're going to be talking about all your latest and greatest Power Ranger news. We're also going to be talking about Jezzer singing some karaoke last night, Daniel singing some karaoke last night, everybody.
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody sang.
Yeah.
Talk about our exploits outside of the ramen place where we would randomly say a line and then a song would break out, apparently.
Oh, man. It was Aka.
You got
Aka
really weird at one point. I was like, what are they saying?
Daniel had a groupie. If there's any videos of that floating around.
I think it's on my Instagram, yeah.
Go and check out Jezzer's Instagram. That's a great way to plug you right now, Jezzer.
Right there,
you can check out his
Zeus.
Instagram at Jezzer Zeus.
It'll be up for a good few more hours before it
right? It's going to be there for a little bit. Check it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of news today, guys, but if you don't know who we are back together. I am Joe. It's great to be back. This is Jezzer, Daniel. We're here. Talking Power Rangers again. This week has been a slower week than you guys have had previously.
Oh yeah, man.
But before we get into that, I think we should catch everybody up with what you guys have been up to, what we've all been up to.
Yeah, we watched Halloween last night.
Yeah,
Which was
right.
really cool. I didn't even know you were there, actually.
Because you climbed through the middle.
Oh, you
instead
saw
of
me do
walking
it?
all the way over. Yeah.
Oh,
You look so frustrated too, because
You
Jezzer
did.
was late and he looked so upset. And
No,
he was
it's
on his
'cause-
phone the whole fucking time.
When we were going trying to park, we saw you driving up, and you just looked upset. Even then, you were just like, parking spaces.
No, it's because the guy in front of me, like, obviously there's no parking spots, but he was driving so slow, still, like, hoping that something will just, like, a car will magically disappear and he could park there. It's like, dude.
He had Preston's wand. He was like, it's going to happen.
He's like,
it's going to
"Dude,
happen.
It's not going to happen. Just keep driving up so we can get through this." But he's taking forever. And I was just like, I kept punching the roof of my car. I was like, fuck, get
Really?
up. Like, I was so mad. I was so aggravated. It's like,
That
"Where-"
surprises nobody.
No,
And
not
I was
at
thinking,
all, man.
he's like, and when I got to the very top, I was like, damn you, Volvo!
Oh, I hate that. What is that about?
Well, I mean, I think they may have, like, a
Well, the
small
dealership is not- yeah,
inside
it's
the
a-
mall or
I
something.
don't.
And then I couldn't find the elevator to get to where we were going. I was just stressed out, man.
Yeah, so I've
Boy.
spent a little time with you traveling around.
Yeah.
And you absolutely get stressed out when you're not at a certain place at a certain time. Like, he like, freaks out.
Yeah, well, Jezzer is a very punctual guy.
But he's,
You know?
yeah, you are a pretty punctual
He's punctual,
guy.
so
Is that
he
your
hates.
military upbringing?
Yeah,
No, it's just like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I don't know. I like being there.
It's a courtesy thing.
Yeah. I like,
Kind of like when you have courtesy when you pull out a phone in a movie theater.
Yeah, because that's weird. People
I was
do that
unaware
too.
that I did that multiple times.
How were you unaware? You're doing it. Like,
I'm not-
it's your hands, your body.
Like, what, like 5 times maybe?
God, you're like
More?
an outer body
Shoot.
experience.
Well, I'm
with pulling
sorry,
out
I don't
your
even know
phone
what I
out,
was
like,
It was
looking
a
for.
lot. It
It
was
was-
a
No,
lot.
you know
like
what it was?
7
No,
times,
no.
dude.
You know what it was?
7 times.
No, this is what it was. So I was watching the movie, and there's this actress in there. It's like, where is she from? And I kept debating whether or not I was gonna go on the phone.
Wait, you were on
And-
IMDb looking
No,
at
I was debating if I was gonna go on IMDb and figure it out. It's
So
like, gonna
that's
take
why.
Too long. But
So that's why you pulled the phone out like
it's
9
pretty much
times.
every
I
time
get
she
it.
popped
Like,
up, who is
God.
this girl? I couldn't figure it out.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah.
we did see Halloween last night. I liked it. We all at least liked it.
Yeah.
So go out and watch it. Already made $80 million this weekend or something. It's pretty crazy. It's dethroned the #1 movie, which is Venom, but we're not here to talk about movies. We're here to talk about Power Rangers, and in the spirit of Halloween,
special. Yeah.
there you go. That's called a segue. In the spirit of Halloween, we had our Halloween episode, which we're accustomed to here in Power Rangers. Now we get a Halloween episode, we get a Christmas episode.
Yep.
And in this episode, it was called the Monster Mix-Up. Okay. #1 off the bat. This is technically a clip show.
Technically.
But it did have some story elements into it, which I liked. A few Easter eggs as well. But what I want to talk about right now is, first of all, how do you guys feel on these like clip show / specials?
Honestly,
yeah.
I was so excited for this episode first, watching through it, and I was like, oh my God, there's not going to be a clip show. And then immediately, once I said that,
Wait,
they went right to
you
a
went into it thinking that this wasn't going to be
I
a
was
clip show?
thinking they're going to be different this time. Everything's going to be different. I'm just excited, you know? Like, I'm looking forward to it. And then clip show. But it wasn't a bad clip show.
For me, this wasn't really a clip show because I didn't watch some of these episodes.
All these episodes they did refer to.
I don't remember any of them.
The origin episode I remember. You know, I was like, I remember that.
I think that's a good kind of litmus test of how good a season's going.
Yeah.
Is if you can kind of remember the stuff that is appearing in the clip show, right?
I was like, capes.
So you're saying since I don't remember a lot of these characters that
I wouldn't say. I think, and I've said this time in, and I'll keep saying this, is that I don't think this is a terrible season. I think it just had such a weak start and such a weak first season that it's kind of filtering off now. And I think it's easier to start. Look, Dino Charge is a great example. It started pretty good and it ended really bad. But people are more forgiving of that ending because throughout the whole season, for the most part, it was a decent season.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think this is very much kind of like what we're getting now. Personally, I think clip shows can be interesting if done correctly. I think this is one of the better done clip shows. Okay. It's not just them telling campfire stories, even though that would have been kind of cool too. Yeah. Just telling campfire stories about
One thing I was trying to figure out, because early in the episode we had Preston as a caveman, which was a obvious reference to Coda.
Exactly.
And I was trying to figure out the rest of the Rangers if their costumes had any specific connection to the actor themselves or their characters.
Well, let's figure it out. So we did have Preston and Coda.
Okay.
You also have Taylor, who was an Air Force pilot, and Sarah. Okay. She's also an Air Force pilot. Mm-hmm. It looks like Brody is some kind of like
a Spartan.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to relate. We have a Sphinx, like a King Sphinx kind of guy in there.
What was Haley?
Wait.
She was like a hippie.
Sphinx. Is he also the Gold Ranger?
Yes.
Yeah.
So wasn't the Gold Ranger at one time had the whole hieroglyphics?
Well, yeah, I mean in Zeo, I guess.
Ranger,
but I don't know. I don't really know Calvin. Like, was he a wrestler?
He was a warrior, dude.
Is it? No, he looks like an ice skater or something.
If you can get a close look on his face, he had the Ultimate Warrior thing on his face.
It wasn't the Ultimate Warrior,
but it kind of it was very.
So
very
you're saying he was a wrestler?
He was a wrestler.
Okay.
I was like, what do you guys can't put your finger on that?
I don't know about that. We got the super chat feature, guys. Chime in on what you guys think their costumes were and how it related to their character. You could super chat us because obviously the chat moves really quick. There's a lot of you guys in here.
Yeah,
we
man.
appreciate all you guys joining us on your Saturday, but we also would like to encourage you to share this video out to all the Power Ranger groups and fandoms. Tweet it out that you're a part of, so we want to build a community for everybody, and we want you guys to be at the forefront of that and be involved in that. And what we would like for you guys to do is all you guys got to use is the hashtag Ranger Wrap Up, and we shall retweet that and get you out there. Mm-hmm. But also share it in Facebook groups, in those Power Ranger Facebook groups, so we could make it be known that the THS Power Ranger community is here to stay.
There's also one more thing. There is a character or a suit that they keep bringing back. She was in Dino Charge. Uh-huh. She was Necrolife from which series? Is
Jungle Fury.
Mystic Force. Mystic Force. That Bat character, the Bat character on the far right. If you can bring up that. They keep bringing back that suit because she was one of the prisoners in Dino Charge, and then they brought back the suit for this episode.
It could be possible that it's one of the suits that they've preserved really well. We already got that super chat. Nightman87 says, Jezzer, you forgot to say what you say on Saturdays.
Well, usually I say it when Joe's not here, but.
Well, go ahead, man.
Okay. But I feel like the moment. Well, you'll wait for Unhenshin. You'll get Unhenshin.
Yeah. Well, what do you say?
The Jay-Z thing from what's that song?
Anywhere in the world right now.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
Look at that face. You're gonna tell me that's not painted up like Ultimate Warrior?
No, I guess a little.
And then his whole bodysuit is almost like Bam Bam Bigelow. It's a whole mix between the two.
Thank you, Nightman, for the super chat.
Sure, Daniel. We'll go with wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's supposed to be. You don't know.
You guys are in the
Jezzer
chat.
says ice skater.
Yeah, I'm thinking ice skater
You're thinking of
Will Ferrell. Blaze of Glory. That's what I'm imagining.
I think right there he almost looks like the villain from Karate Kid.
Oh my God! How is that face paint there not like the Ultimate Warrior? Oh my God! Hello, thank you.
Maybe.
You guys are idiots.
You don't know what that is. I don't think
clearly what it is.
I don't think there's a clear cut thing. He was wearing a championship belt.
It's clear. It's cut. It's there.
I hope it comes out that he was not a wrestler. It was something completely.
I hope it comes out that he was a wrestler, so I can say I was right.
You know, would actually be really cool. I don't know if it's true. What if they were able to choose their own costumes?
And that's what they did. Yeah, that would be interesting.
And another crazy thing about this episode, just from Brody's character, whenever he's like possessed or like going crazy,
geez.
that's his best performances. Because like when he's just the regular Red Ranger, he's so dry.
Yeah.
He's so boring. These are the best. He should just always get possessed every single episode.
Because he's always fun. Like he's just like I'm just wacky. I'm out there. I get to do something.
Is this the curse for the like? I mean, it wasn't with Brendan's character, but with Troy's character, he was very dry too. Is this what they want the Red Ranger to be?
Well, I mean, let's be honest about that, because one of our old producers, JD, used to say that Tyler, played by Brendan Mejia, was his one. He didn't really like him as a Red Ranger because he was so soft-spoken. If you've noticed from the Neo Saban era, all of their Red Rangers don't seem to be like the lead to me.
Is that a way to like spread out the attention
I don't think
from
so
the other
because
Rangers?
no, I don't think so because every single season focuses on the Red Rangers.
Yeah.
So it's very bizarre the way that they do that.
That must be a casting choice, maybe, or just a writer's choice.
I think Brennan out of the Neo Saban era Rangers is the best.
Is the best one, yeah.
But I just think that Brody, once his story arc kind of completed, his character kind of became uninteresting to me.
Yeah, he had nothing else to do.
In video game world, Brody would be like an NPC. Like
Yeah,
he'd just be
definitely.
a really boring character.
Definitely.
That's just there, just going through the motions. I think Levi's more interesting than Brody is.
Levi's definitely more interesting.
Not only is Levi, I think Levi and Preston and Calvin.
Yeah.
And even Haley to me
like pretty
are
much
pretty good.
all. So,
Sarah's whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah,
Not a big fan of the
But
Sarah character.
all
Sarah
of
was only
Brody's-
important during a Christmas episode
Yeah.
once. That was it.
all of Brody's scenes where he's possessed or something's going on with him, those are his best performances. So if they want to continue on with that kind of
Yeah,
trend,
he does give real good moments when he is possessed. I do. I think it's because maybe I don't know if it's an acting choice because when they allow him to just go wild and go free, you're like, man, all right, I really get it.
Yeah.
Versus when they're like, all right, this is your character, it's just very reserved. I think that's how they want him to do.
Well, let's talk about how this clip show was handled.
Okay.
We obviously knew this Ranger switch body with the monsters who are called it's like the ferocious.
It's
the gruesome.
the gruesome six or something.
Something like
It's like
that.
gruesome seven.
Gruesome grunts.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
gruesome
there you
grunts. There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
So the gruesome grunts, and we see that the
Halloween
mummy guards come
yes.
in.
Oh my god, that was such like
For
they're
the
like, oh,
Halloween court.
we need some kind of like militia or some like security. Oh,
Yeah,
let's
they're
wrap them up
mummies.
with bandage and
There you go.
say
Well,
they're
We got
mummies.
Hey,
the mummy guards
very
come
quick and
in.
easy.
They have the Halloween Galactic Trial.
Yes.
Halloween
So,
Galactic Court they have to go
Now
to.
that they said it, that's a precedent, which means that they can always use it at any time on any Power Ranger thing.
Well-
it's just an intergalactic
Well,
kind of thing.
we've seen intergalactic courts before. Mick references this is the toughest of the galactic courts.
Yes.
I'm actually adapting part of this for Cosmic Protectors just to make it, just to give it some legs.
I have a pumpkin I got from a pumpkin patch. I think I'm gonna carve it into one of those
You
characters.
should. You should.
But I thought that this episode was very reminiscent of the Dino Charge one that they had that they were also on trial. I just think that they executed it better.
Yes.
Yeah.
This episode just seemed really cheesy to me. I wasn't super into it, but
Did you enjoy the possessed Power Rangers?
I enjoyed their acting and how much fun it looked like they were
Yeah.
having. But that's where it ends.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part about the episode. And then one thing that that I always say is a saving grace for these episodes is Victor and Monty. We didn't get any Victor
We
and
didn't get
Monty.
Victor and Monty, but we did get Mick.
Well, we did
We
get
got
Mick.
Mick in spades, and it was just like every moment there we could get a moment. Mick was able to do something that was like either it's gonna be kind of like, heh, or it was something I was like, oh, that's smart.
Anthony Davis
Oh, I
gives a
got it.
super chat. Gee, I thought Troy was bad. Well, still is.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh.
Man,
think
I
Troy's
don't know.
bad
He
Red
gets
Ranger?
so much. He's bad.
Yeah.
Another super
bad.
chat.
Oh, Toku.
So Halloween Court exists in multiple dimensions. Well,
Well, no, just because it's intergalactic. I'm just saying that the fact that since it is intergalactic, hopefully they have ability to travel through dimensions.
I also think
so they can
space is
still
one of
pull
those
through.
things where, since it's so unexplored, that like
Yeah.
a space can exist in all dimensions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I've always thought.
Or at least deep space, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, I don't know. I do kind of like some of the references to the. Oh, maybe it wasn't this episode. Some of the references to the Galaxy Warriors, how they were like, we're not a part of the Galaxy Warriors, like we're our own thing. But forcibly, this is just definitely a forcible like recap episode.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's kind of like, why? Well, this is exactly what they did on Dino Charts. Why do they have to do it here?
See, if I could say it, like for me, it was more of this was fun. I already knew that on our Halloween episode, we're not going to get something that's going to be big and important that's going to carry over through anything. It's not going to have a through line. So, accept it for a one-shot no matter what it is. Immediately, once I did, I was already like, oh, well, like I said, happy that I thought it wasn't going to be a clip show. Once it was a clip show, my expectations went very low. So, they actually exceeded my expectations in ways. It was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and switch bodies. We're going to let the actors have their fun. And do their wild roles, which I enjoyed seeing. Because it was like, they don't usually get to do these things, so let's see it now. It made it a little bit more fun. It made something that was kind of interactive. Sticking with Halloween in so many ways, they try to do it in every little bit. They had tropes galore, and I was here for it. I think actually it wasn't that bad of a clip show. The way it was done was what kept me still watching.
How about you?
I don't know. I felt like we're how many episodes into the season now?
Why is Rainbow Dash in this thumbnail?
Huh?
Hasbro.
Oh.
Cause Rainbow Dash is awesome.
Yeah.
Off-brand, but okay.
You want a Doctor Who's?
I like how they brought the Wizard of Oz witch into this.
Yeah.
But
so, am I to assume that there's a whole galaxy full of Halloween tropes?
Well,
yeah.
The thing is, if we're supposed to be able to accept that there's magic exists in the world as well as like the superpowers, then there has to be a place where spooky kind of supernatural things happen as well. So a Halloween kind of world that does exist, a darker underlying world. And they just get together.
Say cheesier.
What's your favorite Power Ranger Halloween episode?
Last season.
The pumpkin rapper.
The pumpkin rapper?
I was like last seasons of this show.
Is that the
they did a clip show that was
no, take it back.
Well, they were inside of the clip show.
My favorite Halloween episode is the Zeo episode.
Okay.
Where Adam falls asleep and like everybody's from like a monster movie, so Tommy's like Dracula.
Oh
and,
my
like,
god!
Billy and Alpha are making like Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein. Which
I need to go back and watch that episode.
And it's like all in black and white.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's all in black and white. And then after like they find out it's like some wizard that's like playing a trick, and Adam has to choose one of the Rangers to fight in this dream. So he doesn't choose Tommy, but he says, "What would Tommy do?"
Yeah.
And Zordonicus is like, "Excellent choice, Tommy it is." And he makes Tommy like fight this monster.
I can't wait for you guys to get to that episode on Retro.
It's a great episode. Zeo, I think Zeo overall is better than Mighty Morphin.
Oh man,
and you'll get to see.
So Elle's gonna enjoy this. She's gonna enjoy the season. I
hated all this Zord stuff, man.
There are so many Zords.
But now what they did.
What is that sky blue one?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. I don't know whose Zord that is either.
Levi was writing that one.
Well, and that's weird. They don't sit inside of them. They're on the outside.
He's on his shoulder.
And then they still did the thing where it was like they were loaded in the shot, but instead it was just the Zords throwing themselves at the monster.
I don't know.
And I was like, okay, so they're still sticking with that, at least as far as the level of assault.
Yeah.
So I was like, continuity. It works.
I think they just went crazy. Oh, let's just throw these.
Let's just throw the toys at these toys.
It was like a clusterfuck of just like just cheap CGI and random suit actors, and I was like,
the Zord fight, it's for lacking, yes, definitely.
Let's give it a ranking. And move on to our next topic because there's only so much we can talk about this clip show.
Exactly.
I'll give it a 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, wow, I'm giving it a 2. I was not giving it a 2.5.
So there you go. Oh, look at that. We got another super chat. OMG.
It's Bryn Darby.
Bryn Darby. Lucky. Sorry, it's been a while, guys. Bryn, welcome back to the show.
How you doing?
Once you're with us, you're with us. Unless you're Blackwing, then you're just kind of a floater. He's that little piece of nugget that you just can't flush down the toilet.
Yeah.
No, he's that little thing in your eye, that little squiggly, and it's like, God damn it, I can't.
I can't wait. He's like, I see you.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Video games.
Oh, let's see what they rated. So Nightman rated a 1.1. Crucius.
They didn't super chat. No, I'm just kidding.
Lucius gave it a 0. Mikey a 2. Toku a 0.
I don't trust anybody that does that though.
Blackwing a 2 out of 5. So it's all pretty low.
It's pretty low. It's a clip show. It's understandable. But moving on.
Power Ranger All Stars pre-orders. It's going to be on iOS and it's coming out on iOS first, I believe.
Okay.
And then it's going to come out on Android. But Power Rangers All Star is a new video game. Power Rangers has been very successful with their mobile games being Legacy Wars. This is something a little bit different. It's called All-Star, and it's going to be more of an RPG, and it seems like it's going to be in the style of Chibi.
Yeah.
Which, not that crazy for.
But at least it's an RPG.
Yeah, that's very true. But the thing is, it's like still with it, I wasn't crazy for Final Fantasies one until I actually played it. So that's right. Where you say it's an RPG, it can really make the big difference. Even if you have that look. The thing is, like, remember originally Final Fantasy VII was chibi.
I feel like
until it goes into the cutscenes. So it was like, yeah, why not? So I'm down for it.
Yeah.
And I want to see exactly how much farther I can expand this. And it's another outlet for me to play Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like this should be like on a console, like maybe Nintendo Switch or something.
Why?
I don't know. Mobile gaming is kind of hard.
But mobile gaming is more profitable than console gaming.
Yeah, take it with you. You commute.
The biggest game in the world is Boom Beach. So what does that tell you?
There you
Boom
go.
Beach. What's Boom Beach?
It's just like one of those builder games.
Oh, okay.
And then like you got there's mobile gaming is more lucrative and more people have it's at their
It's because of
fingertips.
AdSense.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's also at their fingertips of microtransactions.
Exactly. So that's the thing that makes it even bigger. Where it's like, okay, you can play the game if you want, and then if you want to get better, go ahead and buy this, buy that, and buy
Well, I
that.
mean, one cool thing that I like about this game is like you can see there, you can build your own dream team.
And no Mighty Morphin characters in that dream team. I like that.
I like that.
Interesting.
I don't know if I like that group right there. That's
Why?
a pretty unique choice. I like SPD Red.
Well, that's why you can build your own team, so you don't have to worry about that, right?
Yes, that's true.
You don't have to.
I don't want to run with Overdrive Blue.
Yeah, nobody wants Overdrive Blue in there.
Oh, poor Overdrive Blue. I'm so
Overdrive
sorry.
Blue. That's Daryl
Nobody
right there.
likes you, Overdrive Blue.
Daryl Delphin.
Oh, the character was a lot like Daryl.
He's exactly not a lot.
Really?
He's exactly like.
It's
Daryl
like
Delphin,
they built his character around him.
It's
wow.
true.
Oh, jeez.
But let's talk about. You got another
Ooh,
super chat.
Jezzer judging mobile gamers. Wow, no chill with you. Stop trying to instigate something, Toku.
Toku is the real Moomin Rider, by the way.
Yeah.
And why is he trying to put that on you?
I have no idea. And the thing is, people
People
believe
are
it.
running with it, man.
People believe it. Like
I
every
knew it.
once in a while, I'll
Bring
jump
him
into
out.
the Discord, and then they'll be like, "Damn it, Jezzer!" When like Moomin Rider's saying something, like, that's not me. I don't have time to go into this Discord and keep talking. We're crazy. We have another super chat from Nightman. He says, "Whom would your dream team be?" Who would your dream team be, Daniel?
Shoot, man, that's hard.
That's a hard question.
God. No.
Like,
I
because you
can't
don't.
pick it.
I
You
mean,
have to. You super chatted.
All right,
Yeah.
fine. Super team is gonna be if I can get the Red Ranger from RPM.
Which is in that picture. Promo
Yeah,
picture.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then let me get my Zeo Green.
Okay. Cool.
Then after that, let me go with old school Mighty Morphin Blue. And then I want. You know what? F it. Mighty Morphin Pink also.
Okay.
And last but not least, I want to go ahead and choose. God, this is horrible. But all right, fine. I'm gonna put.
I'm gonna just take
Tommy
this
the
over.
Dragon. Tommy's Green Ranger.
I'm gonna do green MMPR, white MMPR, black Dino Thunder, red
Really?
red Zeo,
Really?
and red Turbo.
You're like every Power Ranger fan in the universe right now.
Yeah, you just
I
said,
bet
alright,
you,
this full on.
majority, that's their team right there.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
that is
most
their
people
team.
are like, click, 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 click. I love what Joe just said. Like, everyone's loving that right
No,
now.
I don't think they
wouldn't
even.
choose that. I wouldn't choose that. I would choose. I would probably choose the Phantom Ranger, the Gold
Oh,
Ranger.
is he in there though?
I don't know. The gold. That's
You
for
said
a
our
dream team.
fantasy
Say who's in
dream.
that roster. I'd choose the Gold Ranger from Zeo. I would choose the Black RPM Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably also choose Magna Defender.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And my last one would be probably Black MMPR.
Yeah. I go Gold Zeo,
That's what I want.
Magna Defender, Solaris Knight,
Oh,
Ninjor, and Blue Centurion.
How did I know Ninja was going to be there? How did I know?
You have to have Ninja.
And of course, Blue Centurion.
I mean, you saw it last week when we saw that trailer for that Street Fighter. Ninja looked great in that.
Yes, he did.
He looked like.
Hey, no bullshit. So I saw that trailer, and the first thought I thought they should have Daniel voice him.
They should have. I did. I told you it would have been it. When he falls over, because he falls over and they standing on top of him. You'll never get away with this. Like, he does the thing. That's what he said.
We should redub it just with Daniel's
Like
voice.
that. I'm fine, Tommy.
Did they not have like a close enough voice actor? For
I guess
that?
no one
guess
thought
not.
about it.
Oh man.
They were like, oh, forgot it. We forgot how Ninja sounds. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Power Ranger Boom Studios comics. They've fallen off a little bit. This whole change with Marguerite Bennett is not as talked about. This Into the Grid or Beyond the Grid thing isn't as talked about. But we promise that we hope it's going to pick up. But first thing I want to talk about is Go-Go Power Ranger number 16. We had our first preview. Jezzer, break it down for us.
So the last issue we got the first switch between Trainee and Jason with her being red. So they got sucked into this different realm. So I mean, we're obviously gonna get the rest of the switches once the other Rangers jump into that realm. But the details, there's some new covers for Go-Go that came out, and in the fashion that they've been doing with Go-Go, where they have
That's a great alpha.
Yeah,
that's
alpha.
Is that Alpha 5 or Alpha 6?
Yeah, it's Alpha 5.
Yeah, that's a really great one. I like this. I like that.
I love that.
Do you remember that episode?
That might have been. That's either the first or second episode I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
My first episode was the one where Kimberly was.
Matter of fact, I think this was the
on
first
an
episode.
airplane.
Oh, the first episode.
It was either that or the airplane one. Yeah.
Will those two go bad?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this?
The Power Punks is the name of that episode.
I know, but what is this homage to?
Yeah.
I don't think it's to anything.
To anything? No? I feel like it's
is it like a
to a comic.
Thing?
Maybe like Archie's.
Maybe Archie. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So there's just a bunch of variants, and we're gonna really.
God, what is this?
I think that's Clueless.
Clueless. But who's the girl in the purple?
I don't know. They haven't said yet. Oh, whoa.
I mean, it could, I guess.
Yeah. But. So they're gonna really dive into a lot more of their backstories of the Go-Go Power Rangers, which is gonna be cool. I think they're gonna change up a little bit of their stories. Like, I don't think there's never really anything going on between Trainee and Jason in the original series.
No,
hey,
I
also want to put out a challenge to everybody that's watching right now, because there's a lot of you guys. But what I do want to say is that there's 65 of you guys in the chat room right now.
Oh my God.
So what I would like to do is that if you guys can get us somehow to 100, then we'll take live calls on this episode.
Ooh.
So you guys can chime in. Instead of how we always do your comments, we'll take live calls. But you got to push it out there to get us to 100 in the course of this episode before we end it.
Yeah.
But let's move on to Power Rangers number 35.
Ooh, yes, 35. So you guys read 34, and it was a pretty good...
I haven't read it yet, but I have it.
But the 35 is going to go more into the Dark Ranger's origins, which is...
Jeez.
I think which is what everybody wants to see, because we already know how the other 5 Rangers became and what their stories.
Well, so I went back and watched Dino Charge, the way it ended, and I don't know if you remember the finale at all, but there is an Energem. It's called the Dark Energem.
Yeah.
And
I felt like that's what they were building towards.
Right?
And it seemed like that's what they were building towards. But at the end of the episode, Heckle is the one that kind of oversees. He's the keeper of the Dark Energem.
Yes, on Sentai 6.
Because Sentai 6 is back. So you have to assume in between that, and that probably is the Dark Energem,
Yeah.
that he ends up becoming the Talon Ranger, a.k.a. the Dark Ranger.
Do you think...
God, he's so smooth.
I felt
Look
like with Dino Charge, they were building up toward, like, that was the payoff, but they just didn't have enough time or something?
Well, they didn't have the rights to that suit. So this is what Yoshi, and then Yoshi... you can go back and watch one of the old Morphin Mondays where Yoshi was on live with us. Or actually, it was on a wrap-up.
It was a wrap-up, yeah.
Yoshi was on live with us, and he said that it's a misconception that there was actually never a Talon Ranger, or there was a Talon Ranger toy, but the Talon Ranger was actually originally the name for the Silver Ranger because that was the bird creature. Zenowing.
Zenowing.
So Zenowing was originally called the Talon Ranger. They actually didn't have the rights to Death Uger, which is this Ranger,
because it was a
movie exclusive, and so that was a big misconception about that. But now it seems like...
But if you watch it, it's like it's building up towards it.
Because I have a feeling that they thought they were going to get the rights to it and never did.
So they were writing towards it. I get it.
Oh, this is really cool. I like the bulk Ranger over there. What episode was that in MMPR?
I don't think he ever appears like that.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
No, he doesn't.
No. But anyway, I'm excited to dive deeper into that. My only complaint with the art in this book is that
None of the characters look like the actors.
and that's very hard to distinguish.
Well,
like,
unless
unless you're like, hey Daniel, or like
you
they
have
say
to
the
say
name
the name.
first.
They have to say
because
the
none
name.
of them,
Because if not, you're like, I don't know.
None of the characters look. I mean, Andros obviously because of the
his
highlights.
hair.
But that's
it kind of that kind of takes me out of it just a little bit. But obviously, you can tell when they're wearing their suits.
Yeah.
But when they're helmetless, like it's very hard to distinguish the difference between like.
But they're doing that now with Go-Go, and you don't have a problem with that in Go-Go?
Well, because there's only 5 characters I got to keep track of. So, especially in Shattered Grid is where it got like I don't know who's who because I can't really distinguish like.
And it's so small that you can't really.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the scenes are so fast that it's like why even bother if you're not going to like expand on it a little bit. But like I was saying,
they have to be working towards something.
Yeah.
And I guess what they're trying to do with this new run is kind of introduce you to the idea of these characters are monolithic. They don't have to look exactly like the characters
I'm fine with that. But
no, I mean that's what they're trying to do.
Well, let me ask you guys a question.
The problem is, with doing so, we have too many characters to try to remember. Like Joe said.
Well, Daniel, you bring up a really good
much.
point though, mainly because. I think that a really good point that Daniel brings up is, though, for toy sales for Hasbro, you can base all your toys on the look of the comic book characters rather than the actors.
Yep.
And I think that at that point, you're not in a dispute over rights to the character.
Exactly.
I think that on a business side, and I'm sure a lot of these people don't really care when I talk about the business side of Power Rangers,
but the thing is,
it's a part of it.
But the thing is, what you do speak about concerning the business side later comes to fruition in exactly what we were speaking of with the toys, with this, with that. Then it's like, oh, wow. And it's like, yeah, well, you heard about it here.
Well, I mean, with the toys, you can see that they're going towards those new Funko Pops that came out where it's Rangers without the helmets, where it doesn't.
Well, the Hasbro toys are the more, how do you say? They're the more anticipated ones, and I'm really curious because we know that the White Ranger is going to be in the first line.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they said that the line. It's gonna mix and match.
Yeah,
seasons.
It's not gonna be like
It's
they're
not
not
just gonna be
they're
an
not gonna have
MMPR.
like a whole team. They're just gonna jump here and
So
there.
what are the
What they feel like
chances?
doing.
What are the chances if you had to predict Dan Nagami? How many Hasbro figures usually release in like Marvel Legends or Star
like
Wars
5
Black?
or 6
like 5?
at a time, right?
So, like 5.
It's like 6, maybe even 7. if
So,
it's a build
six
it.
so
or
let's say
seven.
6. Let's say 6
Six
characters
Yeah.
that they're going to release in the first
So
Lightning line.
you're saying what's in the
Well,
first one?
White Ranger is already off the table.
Okay.
So who are the other 5 you think they're going to release?
Ooh.
Because I'm going to say right now, I think you're going to get Gold Ranger Jason.
Okay.
I think you're gonna get. I think they're gonna all be MMPR characters actually. So you get Gold Ranger Jason.
Okay.
You're gonna get. I think you're gonna get the Ranger Slayer. Kimberly.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
I have a
Really?
feeling.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You probably get the Ranger
'Cause
Slayer.
That is going to be the one female character that will sell like crazy versus the other one.
Because it's have
remember,
such a tough time moving.
They
female
always say,
characters.
and I don't get that. Come on, what's going on with the fanship? Where it's like they're just not buying the female characters, but then it's
Oh.
like here comes that one where it's like yes.
Well, the true
this is what I
collectors
want.
are buying the female characters.
That's a
the
beautiful
problem is
figure,
there's
by
so
the way.
many.
Yeah.
There's only so many.
I also
and
think,
I like how they recreated the Die Ranger,
yes,
Cuba Ranger
yes.
picture.
I think that we'll probably get. I think we might get like Time Force Red.
Yeah, I was thinking Time Force
Okay,
Red.
okay.
And maybe if I had to guess for my last 2, I would probably say you probably want another female in there. I think you're gonna get. Ooh, that's gonna be a rough one. I was
I
gonna
really
say.
don't think they're gonna put another one.
I think there was gonna.
I think they're gonna put all guys and one girl. And
I
it's
think
gonna
that the female you'll get might be MMPR Yellow.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Trini?
That makes sense.
Oh my God! If that happens, I'm gonna buy that one.
That Trini one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it's gonna.
I would say
Yeah,
yeah.
of course
Yeah.
you would.
Dude,
and then, I
that's
mean
gonna sell
everybody
out like
would.
crazy,
But then,
man.
and I think that the final 6 one could possibly be like, if it's a Build-A-Figure, I think it'll be like Lord Zed.
Dude, Hasbro Lord Zed would be great.
They're probably gonna do a Zord though.
No, I mean
I don't think
no.
they'll do a
No,
Zord.
you don't think so?
Well, I mean, the
It'll
Zord
be like-
Builder.
Because they did the Zord Builders originally with the Bandai line, and people complained about the heights of them comparatively.
Comparative?
So I
Okay.
think that they're gonna do Build-A-Figures.
Well,
for
maybe
villains, I have a feeling.
maybe the builds it would be for a villain. So like, we'll get
Zed though.
I think it'll be Zed.
Zed.
Because Zed's a good one because the thing is,
You could have the
There's so
snake.
much detail.
You could have the
There's so
snake.
much detail you do with Zed
Uh-huh.
that you don't want to be able to go ahead and mass reduce it as a toy for everyone to buy.
Yeah.
You want it where it's like, oh, you bought all the others. Congratulations, you win.
Oh, so you're saying Zed
That-
would be
that
the
makes
build?
sense. Zed would be the
I think
build
Zed is
because
the build.
the mold of Zed is so specific. That makes sense for a good build.
I mean, I can see Alpha 5 as a build too.
of course.
I think Rita would probably be a build. But also this is not so far fetched that there also could be the Power Ranger movie figures from the 94 movie or whatever in the 2017 can also be in.
Get out.
I think that they're gonna go pretty far with this.
I could ask and beg for a Ninja build a set.
I want a Magna Defender figure. With like a legit like cape, you know.
I mean, you'll probably
really?
get that eventually.
Yeah, I just want a Ninja build. Like I don't mind buying a bunch to build a Ninja because.
Let's move on to our next topic, though. We have the Beast Morphers premiere. It's going to officially be in February now of 2019.
Yes.
I don't think that's huge news, but let's just get into Beast Morphers real quick. I mean, the more and more I know that everyone's really excited for the Hasbro takeover.
Yeah.
I am too, but like I said, I think it's a mistake to make these Rangers look so much younger, especially being at like this agency type thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a step in the wrong direction personally. I think that I'm not trying to, and I know that people are like, oh, will you give it a chance? Like, listen, guys, the last thing anybody can tell me is give it a chance. Mainly because I think that people are so harsh on Super Ninja Steel.
Yes.
But this is already a worse choice as a cast, I believe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So okay, that's the thing. Let's go over this.
I'm not shitting on the actors.
No. What do we know so far about Beast Morphers? We know that it's a team of 3. We know that there's going to be 2 more that are possibly going to show up.
No, definitely gonna show up.
Right. Okay. So we know 2 more are definitely going to show up. We know that they held back or they pushed back the premiere date, right?
Yeah.
To February now. Now, with all of these things that we know, do we think that all these are just steps for failure?
No.
Or
Well, I mean, the
all
other
this
season
is happening.
The other seasons
everything's built
premiered
up,
in
think it's
February
gonna be
too,
good.
didn't they?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think that's
No,
a
but I'm
factor.
just saying. I'm just going over everything that we know. Do you think these are all steps for success?
Like-
as far as and it's going to be this is the last one, or this is the first Hasbro.
This is the first Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the first Hasbro. With that being the case, I mean, Hasbro doesn't want to just put out poop, you know?
Listen, here's the thing. All of you people in there that's like, oh, Joe's hating on this already. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Every single time they announce a new season, the fandom goes crazy.
Yes, it
Then
does.
you guys get sorely disappointed because it's not exactly what you wanted. Every single season.
Yes.
It happens with every season. So what makes you think that this is going to be any different? They're already...
You had a
I feel it's going to be different because Hasbro's involved.
You had a panel a few months ago with Davi Santos where he said he doesn't think that it's going to be any different because all the writers, Chiplin, everybody is still connected to the show despite the brand change.
Besides the Hasbro
So it's
change.
he's saying he's.
Oh, well then, yeah. Why would it be any different?
would it be
If
any
the
different?
showrunner-
Exactly.
The
Wouldn't be any
showrunner's still the
different.
same.
If
the
anything,
producer's still the
like you
same.
said, them casting younger actors, even the secondary actors are way younger than you'd expect them to be.
Also, we also know that we remember Chip Lynn doing the whole thing of announcing we're hiring the comedic sides. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that whole thing.
Well, not-
It's
yeah,
like,
that's
they're
a-
running in the-
There's nothing wrong with.
But the thing is, and he also said, remember in an article or within the interview, that he said we miss this side of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The whole, the comedy, and, you know, we miss this whole thing.
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
in touch with blah, blah, blah. Which is, unfortunately, he's saying we're missing and we're not in touch with all the things that a lot of us have grown out of.
See, here's the point that I disagree with the direction that Beast Morphers is going. And this is with all due respect. I always heard that you can't say with all due respect and shit on somebody.
No, you can't.
But
That's what I'm
What
waiting
is that?
I'm waiting
That's
to
from
hear.
Ricky Bobby?
No, it's with all due
That's
respect.
not how
I hate
that's
you.
not how it works.
With all due respect, though, I think that Chip Lynn, I think that he might be getting mandated to write a certain style or a certain way for Power Rangers. But he said this on the panel for all of you guys that were there at Power Morphicon. He said that, you know, I think we lost our way with Power Rangers, with Time Force and SPD, and I think he mentioned another season. But he said we lost our way when we were more serious, and then we wanted to bring the fun back. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Toy Story is a really good example of this.
Oh,
you can
just saw
I just
Toy
saw Toy
Story.
Story. So you can have
Fresh.
you can have a really good story that's meant for kids, but still relate to everybody else. You're not handcuffed to being just for you're writing down to an audience. And honestly,
DreamWorks is killing it.
with
DreamWorks
Voltron,
is killing it,
No, not
with
just
Dragon, whatever.
Prince
Dragon
and with,
Prince.
that's right.
with Airbender and Core.
Yeah,
killing
totally.
it. A lot of kids watch it, but yet
Adults
the storylines
are
are
glued to it.
great.
Yeah, well,
But
the storylines are great because they're in depth
I
and they're
think-
characters that have so many levels
I
and
think
layers.
the problem isn't just that. It's because we give the franchise the ability to do this. Thank you so much, Nightman87. He gave us a super chat. Says, "I'm going into Beast Morphers with low expectations,
As you should.
Okay, right.
But I honestly think that Power Rangers mistreats their fans, at least on the television side, by not giving the hardcore base at least a glimmer of something that they like. Because when you have a thriving product like you do in the Boom Studios comics, listen, nobody can tell me that the Boom Studios comics aren't successful. They sell out every time. And regardless, it can be like, well, they don't order a lot as compared to like Batman. They don't need to.
No.
If they're selling out in every store, they're still making their money. And it's doing quite well if they're selling out. But
And we know that
that's
because we're
catered
in a
to-
comic shop.
That should prove to you, that should prove to Hasbro and Chiplin and all these other people that it's not just for kids anymore. You can make something that's sophisticated enough for adults to pick up on, and for the target markets. Because I think that even you can keep it cheesy, because even still Doctor Who has some of this kind of like cheesy
Thank
factor,
you. Yes.
and it's still good. Like it still
Yes.
can reinvent itself. So. Me personally, and this is just a forewarning, I'm not telling you to agree or disagree, but what I am saying, because I don't want to hear come February, oh, I didn't really like the premiere of Beast Morphers. Listen, gauge your expectation now. Chiplin's still running the show, and he has since Dino Charge. He has for the last 4 years. If you think something's going to be different and he has the same writers, really rethink that. He's written great episodes before.
Episodes.
Yeah.
But seeing an overall season, listen, let's be honest. RPM, a lot of people love it, and it goes down as one of the greatest seasons. Not saying it is, but it does go down as one of the greatest seasons. And I know people, well, Chiplin finished that. He finished it. He didn't start it. And if you look at that season, the beginning, the start is way better than the end. But that's exactly what I was saying, right? So when I was talking about Super Ninja Steel or Ninja Steel in general, it started off so poorly that it's hard to get that audience to love it. How RPM started off great, but it didn't end so great.
Yeah, but people were
But
accepting
people-
of it because it started off so great.
Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, ultimately, in the end, what it comes down to is, like, a lot of people are saying to themselves, well, Hasbro. Since Hasbro's now involved, everything's going to change. But if Hasbro still chooses to make sure that the showrunner is the same, the producers are the same, writers are the same, well, then you're going to get the same thing. So instead of looking for Hasbro to make that change right now, wait.
Wait,
to see
time
what's gonna
out. I
happen
want to
next.
address these armchair quarterbacks that are in this room right now, like Blackwing.
Armchair quarterback.
Yeah, so the reason I want to say that is because he says in all caps, so he's yelling, get rid of Becca Barnes. She can't write. You going to drink my water? Yeah, go ahead.
Becca Barnes.
Becca Barnes can't write. So,
Becca Barnes
Blackwing,
is who?
I have a question. She's one of the writers on the show.
on the show right now.
What episode specifically did she write that you knew of that you didn't like? I'm just curious, and don't Google it. Just curious, because I just want to see that, because I don't think anybody. I know how the writers' room works in Power Rangers because I am decent enough friends with a few of these guys because they've told me how it works. And you guys, you guys have been in those conversations.
Yeah.
Well, they'll tell us that how the writing system works.
Just writing in general. Like it's not.
Well, writing in general is hard as I don't know what. There's no way that you can just immediately come up with a story and boom, it's just like that. It's like, all right, here goes an idea. We have a skeleton. Here goes a structure. Here goes the show Bible. It may be like that. Now we need to touch on particular moments. Now while doing that, we need to be able to flesh his characters out. Now we have to make sure that we add a dialogue. The dialogue has to be able to make it forward moving, not something that moves back. All these things need to happen in a writer's room.
And then also, I disagree with his latest statement that says bring back Koichi, Jackie Marchand. They're the best. They're the best of the best writers. I disagree with that. The best writer, I think, in Power Ranger history is Amit, who did Forever Red, and he's done a lot of these best
Oh,
episodes.
we were talking about Amit.
Don't worry,
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's right.
Amit, we're gonna have something very special going on with him. But that's my opinion. I just think that Becca Barnes, you guys, I think that you guys are throwing shade in the wrong directions, because.
Well, it could be that most
First off,
likely
you're throwing
the thing
shade.
is-
Yeah, they're throwing shade, but they don't really know.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think, and it may just be it's misplaced. And the thing is, it may be misplaced because you guys may just be reading something from someone that you respect, and their opinion is written this way. So then you immediately take and adopt that.
Oh, this
that
is
opinion.
hilarious. So,
but you have to make sure you build your own.
Nolan Fleming's, he says Becca Barnes is garbage. I laugh my ass off. Every episode she writes was collabed with Chip. Funny enough, that's not true. The way that actually works is that Chip Lynn says what he wants in an episode, Becca Barnes will have an idea, and it'll be a different idea, and most people like it. And then Chip Lynn says, no, I want this change, this change, this change, and that's what you get.
That's
the
showrunner.
That's what it's called. So if you understand how that works, you can understand how it's actually written. That's what it is. Let's move on to our next topic. We got the Hasbro Power Rangers live events. Those are going to be different.
Yeah.
And I think that people have been anticipating Power Ranger live events. This is something they were supposed to do with Ninja Steel, but that never ended up happening. So it seems like Hasbro's going to start doing these, probably tours around the United States. I got to ask you, Daniel, do you think this affects Morphicon?
I do if they happen to run in concurrently with Morphicon, but I don't think Hasbro would do such a thing. Since especially they've gone ahead and said, yeah, we'll work with... have they officially announced that they're going to work with Power Morphicon?
They just announced Power Morphicon for next...
They announced it, yes. See, that's the thing. So we don't know if they're actually going to help sponsor. But if they sponsor, there's no business in the world, no company in the world that says, well, I'm going to go ahead and put something out here and then compete with myself. There's no reason to do that. So if they actually sponsor it, that won't happen. But if they don't, we have something to worry about. Because the thing is, Hasbro's idea and job is to continuously make money on a brand that you just purchased.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a worry.
So funny. This is the funny thing. So they're still talking about the writers in the chat. I want to go back to this for a second. Okay. And I mean, you pretty much summed up the live event thing.
Yeah.
First and foremost, what I want to talk about is that Master Rider Blue says, Amit is a revisionist history with Power Rangers. Made no sense why Serpentera was on the moon in Forever Red when in the beginning of Zeo and Zed escaped on the moon. Also, that's fair, but a lot of you guys are saying Chip Lynn is one of the greatest writers, but it also doesn't make sense how dinosaurs can live in this day and age on Earth. So, like, we have revisionist history everywhere we go. And also with Chip Lynn, we got essentially the same story that we got in Dino Charge in Super Ninja Steel and Ninja Steel about a dude searching for his father. So... if you look at the seasons he's had already in the Neil Saban era, the overarching storyline for the Red Ranger has been exactly the same. With no difference, by the way. So,
jeez.
It's
a mic drop.
No, there's more. Thea Games 10 says there's something special with Chip. Yes, we do have something special, and it's not just an interview. It's going to be something a lot different.
Chip?
I'm sorry, not Chip. Amit. It's going to be something a lot different than anything we've ever done here at Hashtag Show. But just get ready for it, and it's in the works as we speak right now.
Man, oh man.
Now we're going to go on to our last story, and I'm sure this is going to generate a lot of chat for the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes or so. Beast Morphers Super Season. We know that Beast Morphers is going to be on for 2 seasons. I want to get your thought on this. Do you think it's going to be Power Rangers Super Beast Morphers, Power Rangers Beast Super Morphers? What do you think we're going to be getting, and how do you think this is going to play out? Jezzer, seems like you have a lot on your mind with this.
I was under the assumption that the reason that they chose Beast Morphers as the Ranger show to adapt was because the Super Sentai counterpart, what is it? What's the super? Why am I Go Busters?
Okay.
It was a solid story that was meant to be adapted for Power Rangers. So I was under the assumption that they chose this because there wasn't going to be too much work or too much stuff that they're going to have to change while they're in that transitional period.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, that makes sense.
But you know, so I was assuming that this was going to be a 1 season thing. There was no super season.
So Johnny says, I think 2020 super season for Beast Morphers will be Zoodra adaptation, the animal themed, and will be a big supporting cast. Calling for it right now. Actually, I called that. Yeah, I called that when they announced this was going to be the season.
Yeah.
That's right.
My theory is that I think that they're going to do Beast Morphers as the first season. I think the second season will be an adaptation of Zoodra, and I think the third season is going to be a team up of all the characters they have accumulated, and it's going to be Q Ranger.
How many people are in Zoodra?
In Zoodra?
Fine. 7?
7.
So, do you think they're going to take the same cast? As far as
so,
Beast
look,
Morphers,
let's do the math.
Ends with 5.
7. This has 3 plus 2 extra Rangers.
Yeah,
is what?
2 extra Rangers and then 2
and then 2
evil
additional
Rangers.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's 12?
No.
7 plus 3
Yep.
plus 2. How many Q Rangers are there?
Oh,
12.
No. Yeah.
First, before they even try to tackle Q Ranger, I want to see how this goes.
I just think it's going to be super. It's going to be Beast Morphers and the Zoodra.
Look,
thing.
here's what I think is that the reason why I think it's going to go Beast Morphers, Zoodra, Q Ranger. I saw the contract for this season.
Yeah.
The contract is for 3 years, not 2 years.
Wait, can you say?
See, and that's the thing.
I can say what the contract is. I don't have to. I can't say.
That's the thing. And yet, but what they're making sure to always publicly announce or mention is that, well, 2 seasons. Remember, we're doing one show, and now it's 44 episodes. Yeah. 2 seasons. Hey, you guys ready? And then later, when it comes closer to their ending their second season, or when they're starting their second season, then they'll announce, we got something else coming up, and it's 3 seasons. You're like, wait, what? How'd that happen? It's because of the contract. Yeah. So, I mean, it's possible. They don't have to announce everything all at once.
Yeah, so I think that's what we're going to get. But you know what? Speaking of Q Ranger, we're adapting our own Q Ranger. It's called Cosmic Protectors. And we're working on that feverishly to get that out to you guys by the time Beast Morphers debuts. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can run concurrently with them. But that doesn't stop there. And what I'm going to promote now is something that isn't even started yet. So we're eventually going to have a Patreon for this. And I can already tell you that we're making some of you guys into Rangers for different seasons that we're going to be adapting. And another one is going to be called Solaris Guardians. And I can tell you that right now, 3 Rangers from that, there's like, this is news to everybody.
Yeah. That's brand new.
Brand Matthew new. Thompson, Layla, and Daniel Diaz will be 3 Rangers we're going to be adapting for that one.
Oh my God.
So I can tell you that right now.
Congratulations, guys. Wow.
But it'll all play into everything else. We have a meeting. I have a meeting a little bit later on about Cosmic Protectors, but I can't wait to really get the ball rolling with that. With this, though, Beast Morphers, if it is a super season, you know nothing is going to change, and it's going to take more. Listen, I think that the fans are underrated, and I think that what I mean by underrated is kind of that you have more power than you think you do, and if you want things to change, Hasbro needs to hear it, and they actually have to see it. So that's going to be all on us to make sure that change happens.
Mask Rider Blue is Daniel Diaz?
I don't know.
Oh. I had no idea.
Daniel, oh man, he's so inappropriate. We're gonna go into some Daniel Diaz controversies.
Oh no.
Well, you're on After Dark, so you can talk all about it.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh
boy.
yeah. Spotlight.
But look, right now I am really excited to be doing
super chat.
Look at that.
Nightman87 says, "What if Zoojer will be a power up?"
But then I feel that like
so they're talking like Super Mega Force.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look at Super Mega Force. Like nobody. It's one of the greatest Sentai scenes, but nobody likes Super Mega Force, and unless you buy one of our T-shirts from tpublic.com.
No, yeah. Point.
Where we have the coolest Super Mega Force T-shirt you can ever get.
Let's not call it a Super Mega Force. We'll call it a Gokaiger shirt.
Yeah, Gokaiger shirt.
Because that's what everybody says when they buy. Like, can I get the Gokaiger shirt? It's like Gokaiger shirt. Okay.
Oh.
So that's what's keeping it alive, actually.
Okay.
So there you go. That's gonna be. You can get your cool Power Ranger T-shirts in there. Personally, believe it or not, it's a tie right now between the space shirt and the Once a Ranger shirt.
Really?
Those are the highest sellings right now.
Really?
But this month we're going to be debuting a new shirt that you're going to be able to get exclusively at TeePublic. It's going to be one that I think a lot of you are going to like, but we're working on a couple different shirts, but that's one of them. Another shirt we're working on is the proceeds of that shirt are going to go straight to Robert Axelrod. Axelrod. Yeah.
How's he doing, by the way?
I don't know. But get your shirts. The description's in the link below. But back to this. We're going to wrap it up real quick in just a second here, but I do want to get your final thoughts on Power Rangers Beast Morphers, where you think it's going, what you want to see, what you absolutely want the franchise to stay clear away from. Daniel, why don't you kick us off?
What I do want to see, I want to see that upgrade from Beast Morphers to Zoojer. I think that would be interesting for me. I don't want a super season. I know that's pretty much what's happening, but I don't want that. And I want second season to be a season where we actually grow with the characters, so we can get, not darker, but we can get characters with more layers, more complex characters with a little bit more depth. That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't have to be dark, because everyone always says, oh, that's what I need. Rangers needs to be dark. Rangers needs to be dark. It just needs to be a character that you actually care for, a character that you really want to follow. Why not make every character someone that you want to follow? So that's what I'm saying. Make it multifaceted.
How about you?
That's what I want.
What I want from the show?
No, what do you want from Zergata? Yeah, from the show.
I want it to be good. I want it to be like I'm intrigued by the whole human villain.
No shit, you want it to be good?
Yeah.
Oh man!
No.
Breaking news: Jezzer wants Power Rangers Beast Morphers to be
Come
good.
on, hold
Hold
on. You know what I'm saying? I'm intrigued by the whole fact that they cast like 2 humans to be potentially villains, because I like when they do that.
Exit and Escape, but they are in the Japanese version as well.
But no, I like when
Sentai does that.
They do it every season though.
Well, yeah.
Sentai's very good.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we've adapted Tokyuger, and I think I got it exactly where I needed it. And it's going to be like, people didn't think you can adapt a train season. I think I adapted a train season.
He's like, I did it. But, okay, so you're definitely digging that. What else?
I'm intrigued by the companions a little bit, because I feel like they could get really good voice actors to give them a little bit more depth. You know, we could have more characters than just these three actors.
I agree.
As far I feel like having a super season is gonna hinder it a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, I just really want it to be mediocre. I think
you just really want it to be. You know what I mean? But no, you asked me what I want, and I want it to be good. Why is that such a friggin'?
I like that they cast diverse Rangers. I like that there's an African American Red Ranger. I like that I like the aesthetic of the suits are so outside the box.
Yeah.
But if you're going in this kind of like Ranger, like agency direction,
they should be older.
You got to go older. I don't know why you went so young. They look like kids.
Well, they are kids.
They are kids.
And they're kids in a training class.
Jackie legitimately just turned 18 years old.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be kids in
crazy.
and it's their first year in the training class.
Yeah.
That's the whole story. So, I mean, you know, the thing is, that kind of matches up.
And if you have a super season, if you have a second season, you call it super. I'm going to... Oh boy.
I'm already upset.
The revolt's going to start.
I'm already upset because I know that's what's going to happen, and I'm hoping it doesn't.
Yeah.
But what else are they going to do?
Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sign out and get ready for Henshin Hangout. Jezzer's going to be on Henshin Hangout with his Henshin brother, Johnny Parker. JP2. They're going to be... What are you guys be talking about this week?
Lupat and the new episode of Kamen Rider Zio.
No shit. That's what you talk about every week. What specifically will you be focusing in on?
About Kiichiro's anger. It's going to be...
So he's like you.
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed this episode.
That's a small teaser, a small preview. We're going to be... And later on tonight...
I am in the hot seat.
I am so excited.
The hot seat later on tonight, and it is going to be a no holds barred.
Daniel sweats normally, but he is gonna sweat so much.
So I'm gonna suggest to all you fans that don't know what we're doing spotlights on different cast members here. Already Elle's done it, Justin's done it, Jezzer's done it, Maverick's done it. Daniel's next. If you want to get a sense of what the show is, go and watch those spotlights. You'll be able to figure out exactly what we kind of do here. But here's a little tease for this show. Daniel's one of my best friends, and I've known him for about 30 years. No joke.
Yeah.
30 years.
So
30 years.
There's a lot of stories that are going to be unfolding. We're going to get some deep insight into this, and we're also going to get deep insight to a part of Daniel you don't know, which is him doing the comedy circuit. But not just that, how he kind of got into geekdom. And he has a young daughter, some of the lessons he has to teach his daughters within the geekdom, but also personal experiences about, yes, you guys, the Power Ranger fans. So stay tuned for that After Dark. It's going to be the spotlight on Daniel Jerome. So you'll be able to squat up and join us live.
Join the Galactic
just a little bit later on tonight. There's going to be drinks a-flowing. So join us live, and the super chats are going to be open. But, guys, Henshin Hangout's going to be coming up in just a second. And we'll see you next time. But you can follow each of us on social media. Jezzer.
At Jezzer Zeus.
And if you go on his social media right now, you'll be able to see our antics from karaoke last night. That's a great watch. Daniel, where can everyone find you?
Battlestar Galactica.
And why should they be following you?
Oh, right now, because you can see my stalker fan while I'm singing to her on stage. So you can see that.
It was a love connection. They were just like...
It was there. It was there. You can see all the antics that happened last night and what I ate for breakfast.
Well, we're going to find that out when we go deep inside of you. Boom!
Wow.
That's what Matthew Thompson says. Or Matthew Thompson.
Whoa. Going deep.
What? Wow, put on the glove.
All right, so you can find me on social media at that hashtag Joe and all the latest and greatest interviews I do. That's pretty much it. But You can find Jezzer in just a few minutes on Henshin Hangout, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Ranger Wrap-Up. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be back for Retro Ranger Wrap-Up as we start winding down Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, no.
So join us on the transition period between Power Rangers and Alien Rangers. I know we're not there yet, but we're going to be getting there.
Yeah.
We're still in some Cat Pink Ranger mode, which is my first episode's back, talking about Cat as the Pink Ranger. So join us tomorrow as well. But thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday evening with us right here at That Hashtag Show. I am Joe. This is Jezzer and Daniel. We are That Hashtag Show. Check out our website, and please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.